Today, I'm going to show you how to make historically accurate 18th century buttonholes completely by hand. Alright, so the first thing you want to do when you make a buttonhole is you're going to want to thread your needle with waxed thread. This thread has been boiled in a vat of beeswax. And once you fold the thread like this, twist it, and then you tie a knot at the end, like that. And then you pull it out, and then you take it from the back, you twist it a bit, like that, and you pull, and you wax it, and then you take it from here, and you start twisting it, and then you pull it. So first, buttonholes are about 2 inches, give or take. So you want to get this, your ruler, and you're going to mark tailor's chalk 2 inches apart, basically. And what you do, for these at least, you mark at 2 inches, and you mark like right at the edge. So if you can't follow this tutorial, you're a little bitch boy. So the first step is you want to lay out where the buttonhole will go, because there's 2 pieces of fabric here, and you don't want them to fray while you cut it, because if you cut a straight hole, it's going to fray. So you need structure to make sure it stays. So you're first going to start it at the end like that, and you're going to put the needle through and do a buttonhole stitch just a few times around the end, as this makes the top end of it. And then you're going to go down and a bit of a running stitch. You make them as thorough, or back stitch, whatever, but you make it as thorough as you can depending on the type of fabric and the weave. And these are historically accurate buttonholes, so they're a bit different. And they're 2 inches long because they're more decorative, and you only really cut 1.5 inches. But it always varies depending on the size of the button you are using in said garment. Go there, and then you do the same thing you did at the top, as you do a bit of a buttonhole stitch right along there. Flip it over, just start sewing again. More stitches towards the front end, because that's where the cut will go. Once you get past like 1.5 inches, you can do it more sloppily. Okay, and then you want to end it off. And you could do this for every buttonhole until you got them all laid out. And then you can cut it. For this one at least, I'm going to press like that. And then I'm going to get out a chisel and apply weight to it, and then I'll cut the buttonhole out cleanly. And then I get a pair of scissors, and I expand the size of it to what I want, which is about to there. It's cut to there, and the sewing I did that laid it out makes it so the raw edges are somewhat finished off, so they don't cause a problem. If you can't follow this tutorial, you are a little bitch boy. To start the process of sewing the buttonhole itself. So you're gonna start where there's no hole. You're gonna kind of push it through the fabric, and then wrap the thread around there, and you're just gonna do it next to each other bit by bit as you go, like this. Because this right here is the impractical decorative part of the buttonhole. And then once you get to here, you're gonna wanna go through, make sure you get both sides of the fabric, because you want to finish it off properly. And you kind of like use your thumb as like a way to gauge how like far in you want the stitches to go, and then you make sure you go through both sides of the fabric so it finishes off the edges, because if not, it will fray a bit. So then as you get to the bottom end of the buttonhole, you're gonna wanna put it through and then put it up. Move the fabric around, and then you're gonna wanna start again on this side. Now I'm about to run out of thread here, so when you do that, you just thread another needle, or you can have another needle in waiting for you to use, and then you just start off where you left. The buttonhole stitch basically finishes itself, so you can just cut it, and then you want to thread the needle again.
Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
Okay, so now that you have the thread threaded and you have the knot tied at the end, you just want to bring it through like this. And then you just start where you left off as if nothing happened. You'll cut the knot later once you finish it off. And when you get to the end of the opening, you're just gonna keep going, but you're just gonna slide it through the fabric without going through an opening. Which is basically, you would do this for the entire buttonhole if you were doing a false buttonhole, which was just a decorative buttonhole that served no functional purpose other than to look like a buttonhole. And then push it through. And then you can snip the knots off, because these are useless to have. And then what you do is press it. And then you have a hand-done, historically accurate buttonhole done completely by hand.
So here is the result of the buttonhole I just made on the final coat. If you couldn't have followed that tutorial, then you are definitely a bitch boy.
They did not teach me this shit in fashion school. It was a waste of money and time.
Everything is a fucking lie. But if you are a fashion student, you are definitely a fool. Please let me finish my goddamn degree.
If it wasn't so goddamn expensive.
I just want to finish my goddamn degree. I finished a coat and countless others. It's just, I don't care. Just let me finish my fucking degree. If you think this is impressive and you're not offering me a fucking job, the economy is shit right now. And my skills are absolutely bum fucking useless. I wasted over $20,000 on college, and I didn't finish my fucking degree because I couldn't afford to. I have money left enough to live off of if I only eat matzah. All of it, everything told to me growing up is a fucking lie. I'm just gonna have to eat matzah to survive as long as possible because I can't find a fucking job. You piece of shit. Fuck the government. Just fuck the government. The economy is shit. No one is spending money on tailoring work, and nobody who hires tailors is hiring tailors because they don't know if they can make money.